I'm Cheryl Sephora. Cheryl Sephora. Ha ha ha. That's even better, okay? Okay.
Quando eu era criança, eu acreditava que beleza era algo que não era para todo mundo e que a beleza ela estava enquadrada.
I did hate my hair before. Why?
I got called too tall. I couldn't say words properly. That's when I really noticed that, I was different.
J'ai trouvé un rouge à lèvres dans le placard de ma mère. Je le vois encore, j'ai vraiment l'image dans la tête. Il était tout vieux, il était tout dégoulinant, mais il me fascinait ce rouge à lèvres.
E com isso, tive muita liberdade para buscar ser quem eu sou mesmo.
Sephora stood as a beacon for me to find myself, a space where I was free to express myself.
Y ahora que me veo con calvicie, yo digo, wow, eso representa tu madurez, lo que has atravesado, lo guapo que te ves. Hombre, porque es que te lo dicen.
Living. Just living in the body that I've been given, living in the life that I've created.
Beauty for me definitely has a different meaning than I would say the traditional Western way of thinking. For me, in my culture, we have a word called najone, which means, beautiful, but in a sense where it's not physical beauty. It's not your physical appearance that's beautiful. It's everything that you are. It's your being that makes you beautiful, what's inside, how you connect with yourself, how you connect with other people in the land. In my young adulthood and in my childhood, I did not feel beautiful, but now I do.
A minha mãe não era uma mulher muito vaidosa, ela não tinha muitas maquiagens, mas eu me lembro de ter interesse com as maquiagens dela. Então, eu às vezes me pegava brincando com os batons, com os lápis de olhos que ela tinha, e era sempre umas coisas muito engraçadas. Ela nunca me repreendeu, mas ela ficava sem entender aonde aquilo poderia me levar.
J'utilisais toujours le maquillage de ma mère. Elle avait un nom à paupières qui était vert lime. Je sais pas pourquoi, je l'aimais tellement. Je le volais toujours, puis je m'en mettais pour aller à l'école, mais j'étais un petit peu trop jeune, je pense, donc souvent ma mère me demandait de me démaquiller.
Я виросла уже на Пінтересті, інтернетах, різних соушал-медіях, і там завжди я захоплювалася картинками, де в дівчат ось так куча різних баночок, якісь класні бренди. І я думаю, от я так хочу, я хочу собі таке.
E aí, nisso, a gente sonhava em ser também as modelos, né? Naquela época, a gente desfilava na rua, né? Montava no nosso quintal o nosso estúdio, passava o batom, arrumava o cabelo e a gente ia desfilar. E isso já aumentava a autoestima da gente, né?
Being a teenage girl, acne, things like that I always wanted to cover up. That's kind of why I started wearing makeup to begin with, is to cover these things up and to feel more confident about myself. And for a moment, I would put makeup on and I would feel like extremely confident. I felt like the most beautiful person in the world because I covered everything. And that was my relationship with makeup. I felt like if I didn't have makeup on, I just wasn't beautiful.
Me not being a tall, blonde, blue-eyed person, I was really identified as, I stuck out a lot amongst other people. And I think it really prohibited me growing up as being a strong person, because I always in the back of my mind was afraid that because I'm plus size or because I'm Black, then people would look at me differently.
So the small town I grew up in was not always very diverse, so I often felt out of place. And even in my class at school, I was one of 2 Asian kids in the entire class. And it felt hard to find other people who looked like me or other Asian models. I was clearly different, and I often felt out of my element on top of all the kind of insecurities and anxieties you have typically as a teenager.
The ideal was model-esque, flipping through magazines. We all have phones, social media, going through any application and seeing images, seeing everything that I want to be a part of. I just became fixated on a goal to look like, it's funny because it's no one in particular. It's this idea. You're going towards a goal that has no end. Once you get too deep into it, there's at no point where the being critical stops.
It was hard to always try to be somebody that they wanted me to be. You know, I was actually living my life for my family and for society. Everybody knew deep inside about my sexuality, but nobody talked about it. So I think the message was like, we know who you are, but you need to be who we want you to be. And I play along for some time. I play along to just be the boy that they raised and they wanted me to be. And I even got married. And I even got married to kind of like make them happy.
嗯，我觉得对我美的启蒙，如果说从家庭方面来说，启蒙导师就是我的妈妈。然后其实我妈可以说是那种，就是少数民族地区蒙古族当中的那种美女吧。因为我妈妈是那种眼睛大大的，每天打扮的比较的正式，然后很精心的去装扮自己。其实这些都对于我对于审美的培养和养成产生了一定的影响。
Quando eu penso na minha mãe, é a autenticidade. É o direito e a liberdade da gente ser quem a gente é, e expressar isso e compartilhar isso. Dar esse direito para os outros também. Então, acho que ela vivia muito de verdade e ensinava muito isso pra gente. A ser de verdade, não ter vergonha do nosso jeito, dos nossos trejeitos, da nossa história, das nossas feridas e das nossas risadas. É muito bom ter esse legado ainda de eu posso ser quem eu quiser.
Ale powiem tak, jak ja się zacząłem interesować kosmetykami, to raczej wszyscy naokoło powiedzieli facet i kosmetyki to nie gra. Mati, nie. Dlaczego ty się interesujesz kosmetykami? Co cię w tym interesuje? Więc troszeczkę było to dołujące, że inni podcinają ci skrzydła, gdzie coś cię interesuje, masz prawo do swoich zainteresowań, do swoich poglądów.
Eu sempre fui uma criança diferente, tanto pela minha mancha quanto pelo meu cabelo. Meus pais sempre me apoiaram muito, me incentivaram muito. Sempre falaram que o diferente era legal, o diferente era bonito. Quando eu era muito mais nova, eu fui assediada. E aí eu escutei muito, você está desempregada porque olha o seu cabelo, você está gordinha, né? Ninguém quer contratar uma pessoa assim. E aí, quando eu entrei na Sephora, eu falei assim, não é por conta disso. Não é por conta do meu cabelo, não é por conta do meu peso, né? Eu fiquei muito feliz quando eu entrei. E aí a gerente me olhou e falou assim, que cabelo lindo que você tem, você é maravilhosa. Eu me senti tão acolhida, falei, caraca, é aqui que eu preciso estar.
J'étais une enfant à vocation, j'étais tout le temps en train de sentir, de renifler les odeurs. Je reconnaissais tous les parfums des copines de ma mère, ce qui les embarrassait et qui les mettait parfois mal à l'aise. Et mon papa m'a dit, Mathilde, si tu es douée avec ton nez, il faut que tu travailles dans cette voie. Suis ta passion. Et c'était un très bon conseil.
So I'm very fortunate that I was born and raised in a very loving family. My parents have been my rocks from day one and my biggest role models and mentors in life. It's not to say they didn't have their own, I would say, areas to improve. And unfortunately, that kind of color stigma was something that my parents also, I did feel existed in my house, which is why I didn't fully feel safe, because sometimes I was going on holiday, my parents did say to me, make sure you put sunscreen, don't be in the sun. We're gonna make sure we bleach, your skin if needed a little bit. And I felt that was encouraged. So yeah, there were moments, I'll be honest, where even at home, I would go in the shower and like scrub off my skin, and sometimes so hard, trying to get rid of the color that I would have like marks after. And yeah, I'm not very proud to mention that. And I'm going to get a bit emotional talking about that, but sorry. It's real. And I think that's something I don't want anyone to go through, because I'm ashamed that I did that to myself. And I should never do that to myself, but I did. So yeah. But I don't do it anymore, so it's good. Sorry.
As a child, there were different situations that, made me think I was different, for sure. I identified that I needed to control how I was being seen. And I think that drove me to present myself in a certain way based off of what I felt like the situation needed, or how it needed to see me. And what I would say is, it helped me get pretty far, and I felt like I was very successful, but I hit this wall. And the wall that I hit was, there was a point in my career where people were, although I was connecting with people weren't really connecting with me, like me. And the issue with that was I wasn't connected with me. When I transitioned to Sephora, it was an interesting moment for me, because it was a company that I realized didn't have a perception of me or who they needed me to be. They just wanted me to be me. And I went on this journey of finding me. which is why 60 days ago, this beard was actually black. It's gray now because I'm like, I'm going to actually go with who I am. And I like who I am. And it feels good.
One of the most pivotal moments in my life was at the age of 17, after I'd finished high school. I went with my mother to the city and I went into different clothing stores, retail stores, applying for jobs. And I saw this big, beautiful store outside on 51st and 5th, I think. And that was the huge 3-story Sephora. I'd never heard of it, nor did my mother. But I remember just something pushed me in that store. The smell, I'll never forget that smell. It smelled like luxury to me. And there was beautiful fragrances and things that I could never have all my life that I wanted. My mom immediately grabbed me and said, no, this one's not for you, and pulled me out around the doors. And I said, no, I want to go in here and ask for a job. And I went. And someone called me back and said, you will meet with Marie Christine. She will be in New York to open one of the new locations. And you have an interview scheduled for XYZ, time and date. And I didn't tell my mother. I was so excited. And I remember I got dressed in my best, what I thought was like a super Manhattan chic, black, basically. I looked like I was probably 14 or 15. And she was looking at my resume and she kind of smiled and she said, okay, she said, you can start in the new store. They put me at the front door, basically with a basket, and I would welcome every customer into the store. Welcome to Sephora, welcome to Sephora, welcome to Sephora. The second that I started working in this store, because I got a taste for the first time of what it meant and what it felt like to be me, without having to hide my feminine side, my creative side, without thinking about how am I walking, how are my hands moving, how is my voice sound, because I spent my entire life thinking about those things. I made so many friends, some of which I still am friends with 25 years later today, and also some mentors there that really helped me.
Eu comecei na Sephora na limpeza em 2016. Eu fazia a limpeza da loja. Aí foi indo que fui fazendo várias amizades, não foi só com o cliente, também com os colegas de trabalho também. Aí eu fui indo. Aí depois passou mais uns 3 gerentes na loja, falou a mesma coisa. Aí foi na época da Roberta. Ela falou assim, você tá esperando o quê para você virar cast? Aí eu tinha muito medo de aceitar. Tipo assim, não posso aceitar como vendedora, por causa de... Eu tenho meus medos também. Porque medo, assim, essas coisas de preconceito. Eu tenho medo de perder meu emprego, ficar sem nada, tipo assim, porque eu tenho meus filhos. Ok, aí eu acabei aceitando virar cast deles, trabalhar na equipe da Sephora. Aí ela me ajudou muito nos processos, tipo, foi me ajudando a atender melhor o cliente, porque eu não gostava, tipo, eu não ficava olhando, não sentia bem olhar no rosto de ninguém, que eu tinha muita vergonha. Eu sempre ficava escondida também. Aí ela foi no processo todo, ela foi fazendo, foi me treinando também, alguns treinamentos, ela que me ensinou. Tudo que eu sei hoje é graças a ela, porque ela me deu muita força mesmo. Tipo, se não fosse ela, eu acho que hoje eu estava na limpeza, eu estava na limpeza até hoje.
Celebrating these 25 years with Sephora, I reflect back on a lot of different personal obstacles I had to overcome. The third round of chemotherapy, lost almost all of my hair. I had so many imperfections on my skin, the blistering, not looking pretty, doing makeup all around it. It's how my team, my Sephora team, rallied around me and letting me know it's not, Cheryl, about what you look like on the outside. We know who you are on the inside. They wanted me to continue to be there with them. It was important that I was there with them because I've always been a part of the team. And they lovingly and caringly gave me more support than I could have ever asked for. And just nurtured me along. I'm used to doing that for others. That was done for me. And it helped me to get through what I could not have gotten through by myself.
La chose qui m'a empêchée de l'être aujourd'hui, d'être heureuse dans la vie, au départ, c'était vraiment la vision que j'avais de moi-même. Comment je me trouvais. Moi, je me souviendrai toujours de la première fois que je suis rentrée dans une séance de psy. Quand la psy m'a demandé « Mais qu'est-ce que vous pensez de vous ?» Je lui ai dit que j'étais un déchet humain. Et au fil du temps, je me suis rendu compte de la violence que je venais d'apporter psychologiquement, en tout cas à moi-même. Et le jour où je suis rentrée, que j'ai essayé de changer un peu mon outfit, de rentrer dans une forme d'androgynie, voire même une forme de féminité, elle m'a dit juste, je vois que j'ai enfin face à moi la vraie Frédérique, nous allons pouvoir enfin discuter. Il y a eu aussi l'élément avec ma fille, parce que ma fille est vraiment quelqu'un de très adulte du haut de ses 10 ans, c'est que souvent je me démaquillais assez rapidement, je voulais pas qu'elle me voie comme ça, parce que j'avais peur dans sa construction en tant qu'enfant. Et je me souviendrai toujours la fois où elle m'a vu maquiller dans la cuisine et puis elle me dit « Papa », et je lui dis « Quoi ?» Elle me dit « T'es belle ». Et je me suis dit « Mais si c'est OK pour toi, pourquoi c'est pas OK pour moi en fait ?» Parce qu'il n'y avait pas de genre dans sa vie. C'était juste mon parent fait quelque chose qui a l'air de rendre mon parent heureux, donc it's OK.
Więc jeżeli chodzi o taki dzień, w którym się poczułam naprawdę pięknie, ale tak pod kątem swojego własnego wyglądu, to jak się zobaczyłam w lustrze, no to przyznam, że po 44 latach nastąpiło to tak naprawdę dzisiaj, kiedy dziewczyny wzięły mnie w swoje obroty, bo aż wstyd się trochę przyznać, ale dzisiaj pierwszy raz miałam robiony taki profesjonalny mega makijaż. I jak zobaczyłam się w lustrze, mówię, patrzę, przecież ja wyglądam jak Jennifer Lopez. Ja pierwszy raz w ogóle w życiu patrzę na siebie w ten sposób, że mam przepięknie wykonturowaną twarz, mój nos w ogóle, który jest generalnie krzywy na co dzień, wygląda pięknie. Fryzurę, no nigdy w życiu bym się tak nie uczesała, ale wyglądam no rewelacyjnie, więc naprawdę dziwnie może to zabrzmi, ale dzisiaj jak się zobaczyłam w lustrze w makijażu, pomyślałam, wow, po prostu Jezus, mega, wyglądam fantastycznie. Cieszę się, że jestem na tej sesji i to jest taki dzień, którym no naprawdę nie przeszkadza mi moje ciało. Moja sukienka dzisiaj jest rewelacyjna i mam nadzieję, że to, co widzicie, też się wam podoba.
Ce que j'aime le plus chez moi aujourd'hui, il y a quelques années, je vous aurais dit mes yeux. Parce que tout le monde me disait « Oh, vous avez de jolis yeux bleus. Oh, t'as des trop beaux yeux. J'aimerais tellement avoir les mêmes. » Et en fait, finalement, aujourd'hui, moi, ce que je préfère chez moi, c'est mon sourire.
Une partie de moi que je n'aimais pas et qu'aujourd'hui j'adore, ce sont mes fesses. Parce que j'ai toujours culpabilisé du fait que je les trouvais plates, je les trouvais avec plein de vergetures, beaucoup de combats. Et au final, bah non quoi, elles sont à moi, elles sont très bien.
其实，当我自己发现我现在还挺美的时候，并不是一刹那我觉得，哎，我现在变美了，而是在这个生命的长河当中慢慢去探索的。那探索的过程其实会有很多很多的经历，或者当你真正了解自己的身体，真正的去探索你精神上想要的东西。在这个过程当中，你就会慢慢发现什么才是真正的美。一段人生的过程，可能我现在这个阶段我觉得挺美的，可能再过一段会觉得我自己更美。所以我的人生也在慢慢的成长，我的履历跟经历也在慢慢的去拓展。所以我觉得是跟着我的人生经验，跟我所接待到的事和人。
My husband has allowed me to be authentically me. He's the one that he loves me so much. He appreciates me in every form that he's known me in. He's been able to lift something in me which is amazing, and I can't thank him enough for it. So yeah, makes me emotional.
When a person feels beautiful, there is an energy that they emit that absolutely brings people together. Okay, beauty cannot be just about one person. It's collective beauty that creates this incredible energy. So I absolutely believe beauty should be always together.
I remember one lady, she was going through something that I was going through. She was going through multiple eating disorders. This was like midway through the consultation. She started talking to me, started asking questions, and she opened up to me about the things that she was feeling and where she was at in her life. And that day touched me more than really any other day in my career. As much as we want to feel like we're so different from other people, we're really very much alike. And we all have very, very similar journeys. And that, to me, is the whole reason why I love beauty. I want to make people feel good about themselves and to feel confident in their own skin.
I even have clients, because I am in a chair, come to me for if they have disability needs, or maybe they have no eyebrows because of chemo, or no eyelashes. You know, they feel more comfortable coming to me because I've been through it. So it was a great way for me to feel better about myself and help other people at the same time. And my clients give me a lot of joy. I love my job, and just everybody at Sephora, it feels like an extension of my family. It's not work if you love your job. That's how I feel. It's not work because it's what keeps me going.
แต่ว่าสุดท้ายแล้วสิ่งที่ฝ้ายได้รับจากการทำงานที่นี่จริงๆแล้วมันไม่ใช่แค่นั้นค่ะมันคือความมั่นใจสิ่งที่เราจะให้ความมั่นใจกับคนที่เขาเข้ามาในร้านมากกว่าการเป็นเพื่อนเขาการเป็นแบบคนที่คอยปลอบเขาคนที่คอยให้คำแนะนำกับเขาว่าตอนนี้เราจะดูดีขึ้นในแบบไหนหรือทำให้ความกังวลของเขาที่เขาเคยมีมันหายไปหรือลดน้อยลง
Dla mnie hasło należymy do piękna jest
czymś zupełnie większym i szerszym niż same kosmetyki. To jest przede wszystkim akceptacja do drugiego człowieka, miłość i szacunek. Bo pracuję ze wspaniałymi ludźmi i czuję się swobodnie. Jestem po prostu sobą i to jest piękne.
Sephora me ha dado voz. No tengo miedo a hablar, no tengo miedo a expresar mi opinión siempre que sea correcto, no tengo miedo a ser yo en un espacio y mucho menos en el trabajo.
In Sephora last year we had a campaign called Meet Me at Pride. And I was like, I'm 36, it's about time to come out. And I participated in that project, and it was one of the most liberating and freeing project that I've done. Like, for everything, like I didn't have any mask on, like I didn't have any persona on, like a heavy weight lifted off my shoulders and my chest, and everything was like, let's say, crystal clear after that. Because I accepted who I was, who I am, and who I will be, and I will always be like this. And this is me, this is the real Jean-Paul that you wanted to see.
What I've learned through my own personal journey and through the journey of creating in the beauty space is that beauty is not just about what you see on the outside. Beauty is really about how you're making people feel. When I think about what my journey was like, my young adult life, my adult life, searching to find where I can fit in, I think about how that made me feel. And I think about how long that impacted me, to deep into my 50s. So for me, the responsibility as a beauty creator is to make sure that I'm making people feel good, feel worthy of being in this space, making people feel like who they are is perfect just the way it is, making people feel like I thought about them, that they belong as part of the conversation. It's more about a heart space than, it's less about what we're trying to cover up, and it's more about what we're trying to uncover about who we are in the inside. So beauty is really about a feeling, and I really aspire for people to feel good, to feel connected.
Super.
I suck at this. I don't know why this is so hard for me to get on a chair.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry.
You look in the camera? Okay, now maybe back to back, like this. Back to back.
Actually, she's my boss.
Oh, okay. To szybko cię schodzimy, bo zaraz musimy wyłączyć, bo... A, teraz
It's okay. Sorry.
Zawsze coś takiego chciałem przeżyć, a teraz dostałem taką okazję. Jak dziewczyny tu malowały, tutaj włosy robili. I więc jest to takie superstar experience, które bardzo mi się spodobało. Czuję wewnętrznie, czuję taki naprawdę szał, taki szał wesołości, cieszenia się.